Help! The scene is safe. My name is Manuel Zarate Jr. and I am trained first aider. Can I help you? So first, put body substance isolation on. Excuse me, miss. Palihog lang kong tawag og rescue kay di ay nakuyapan diri tapos ang iyang pangan si Cardo Dalisay o niya ang iyang number 0926-368-6452. Palihog lang kong tawag ma'am ha para ma-rescue ni siya. Salamat. So while waiting, let's check the patient. First, tap the shoulder twice. Are you okay, sir? So the patient is conscious and responsive. Now, let's do the head tilt chin lift maneuver. So the airways is clear and no obstruction. Now, let's do the LLF or look, listen, and feel. One 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010. So the patient is paused and breathing. Now, let's proceed or let's check the head. The head has no fracture and no bleeding. Now, let's check the eyes. Now the eyes is perlaugh and the pupils is equally reacted to the light and accommodation. Next, let's check the nose and the mouth. So the nose and the mouth has no fracture, no bleeding, and no obstruction. Next, let's check the ears. The ears has no fracture, no bleeding. Next, let's check the neck. The neck has no fracture, no bleeding. Next, let's check the collarbone. The collarbone has no fracture and no bleeding. Next, the chest and the ribs. So the ribs and the chest has no fracture, no bleeding. Now let's proceed to the abdomen. The upper left abdomen, the lower left abdomen, the upper left abdomen, the lower right abdomen. So the upper left abdomen and the lower left abdomen has no fracture, no bleeding. And also the upper right and the lower right abdomen has no fracture and no bleeding. Next, the hips and the groin. The hips and the groin has no fracture, no bleeding. Now let's check the arms. Pali ko isa, sir. So the right and the left arms has no fracture and no bleeding. And those are responsive. Now let's check the legs. Sir? The right and the left leg, the right and the left legs has no fracture, no bleeding, and those are responsive. Now let's proceed to the spinal column. The spinal has no fracture, no bleeding, and it is aligned. So now, put the patient into recovery position. Finally, the patient is safe and ready to transfer. That's all for this day.